Alright there guys, and welcome back to The Rise, The Fall, and Rise Back Up of Attack on Titan. This is a 3-part mini-series I'm doing where I will be covering all 3 seasons of Attack on Titan that are currently out and explaining which seasons were good, which seasons were good, what was bad, and where that season put the show in terms of the general community. Last week we did season 1, and I explained how season 1 got this show off to a very, very good start, and a good first opening season to get people into the show. In this episode, we're going to be covering Season 2. Released in 2017, 4 whole years after the release of Season 1. Now, Season 2 is regarded by the majority of the Attack on Titan community as the rough spell. I at least think this. This is where Attack on Titan's rough spell came in. A very few minority amount of people thought that Season 2 was pretty damn good, and in some cases, better than the first season. But along with the majority of the community, saw Season 2 as a bad season and a rough patch for the whole show. But this season did have some good things in it. It wasn't like it was terrible and there was nothing good about it, but there just wasn't in that much good stuff about it that warranted it being called a good season. So, let us start off with how we finished Season 1. Annie serves almost no relevance to Season 2 whatsoever. You know, we worked up to the climactic finale of Season 1, the battle between Eren and Annie, and Annie has finally been defeated by Eren, and she's now in her ice prison, and she's basically irrelevant for the whole season. Season 1 is the only time Annie was actually used for the plot at all. In Season 2, she's only used at the very, very beginning as something to be researched. Other than that, she doesn't serve any purpose. Which kind of sucks, because you spend the entire first season with Annie in and around the areas. Then we find out that she can turn into a Titan just like Eren, and that her and Eren fight each other in their Titan forms. Eren finally gets the better of Annie, and then we don't really see her. We never see her get used for the plot again, really. Just research. So, the big obvious threat of Season 2 is the Colossal and Armoured Titans. These 2 Titans are still the main culprits and the main villains at the minute, as they are the strongest two Titans, and killing them is about 10 times harder than killing a normal Titan. Now, you'd think killing a normal Titan's easy, and for the most part it is. But these 2 Titans are much, much bigger. So getting to their weak spots is more difficult already. Never mind actually trying to attack them, but actually getting to them is more difficult. For the time being, the walls are safe because Eren has put up a boulder that blocked the entrance. So the walls are safe for now. And we are introduced into 2 brand new characters. Historia, but that's her actual name. She doesn't use that name in season 2. But if I'm honest, I don't know what fake name she was using. I can't remember. I haven't watched season 2 since early 2018. So I have actually no, it was more early 2019, I think it was actually. Either late 2018 or early 2019 I watched season 2. And then the first part of season 3. But these 2 titans did actually have an important reveal, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, I'm gonna call her Historia because that makes it more obvious who she is. I just can't remember her fake name that she was using. And we're also introduced to a new character who, again, I don't remember her name. That's another thing about Attack on Titan Season 2. The new characters we're introduced to, some of them are so forgettable in their names. Maybe not who they are, but their name. I'm basically referring to the woman that can also turn into a Titan. But she's a Titan that can speak when in Titan form. She's that Titan. And she's actually not that bad of a character. She helps out Historia and some of the Scout Regiment to fight off the other Titans. And the most important thing she does is she ends up sacrificing herself. Which we find out at the end of season 2, she never admitted it to Historia, but she said that she actually wanted to marry Historia. Which is weird because she doesn't really show any emotion throughout the whole season. And then you find out that in a letter that she wrote for Historia. But I guess I should now get into the best part of Season 2. The thing that Season 2 will always be remembered fondly for. There were 2 members of the Scout Regiment called Reiner and Bertolt. And these two never were around the Scout Regiment when the Colossal and Armoured Titans appeared. When they kidnapped Eren, they decided while he was captured with them to reveal that Reiner and Bertolt are the Colossal and Armoured Titans. Boom, the biggest plot twist of the whole season. The Colossal and Armoured Titans, that not only are they not regular Titans, they're actually humans that have Titan forms as well. Which means Bertolt and Reiner actually made it outside of the wall without anybody noticing, and then went into their Colossal and Armoured forms to break down Wall Maria, meaning the true outbreak of the Titans was actually caused by humans. And I still don't understand why Reiner and Bertolt thought it was a good idea to tell the only other person that can turn into a Titan that they can also become Titans, and the very two that caused this outbreak in the first place. First of all, that actually adds some weight, because Eren is now aware that it's actually Reiner's fault that his mother died. Because Reiner caused the Titan outbreak, though the female Titan that ate Eren's mom was caused by him. Captain Levi leads the scout regiment towards Eren to rescue him from kidnapping. And the significant character development in Season 2 goes to Eren, because he truly understands that he has to be the one to save humanity. He's the only hero, he's the only team fighting with the Scout Regiment that can transform into a Titan. So he understands that if the Scout Regiment are to beat the Titans, he has to be there. Now, let me get into something that I could have talked about in Season 1, last week's episode, but I chose not to, because it happens even more in Season 2. And what I'm referring to is when somebody stands on the top of a Titan's head, and instead of slicing their neck and being done with it, which would be the logical thing to do, they start talking to the Titan. And they talk to the Titan just long enough for the Titan to grab them and throw them away so they don't get the kill. Some people may call it character development. I call it finding any excuse to keep for the Titan to live longer, to keep the episode going. Otherwise, the episode would fall flat if the Titan was just killed off straight away, because there'd be nothing left to do for that episode. But yeah, Attack on Titan Season 2 is, as I've said multiple times now in this video, a rough patch in what is known as a modern classic. Attack on Titan Season 2 kept some viewers entertained and excited them for Season 3, but what it also did to a lot of viewers was, once Season 2 ended, that was it for them. They were done with Attack on Titan completely. They'd had enough of they'd had enough. Attack on Titan Season 2 was their final straw. They felt so strongly about Season 2 that they stopped watching completely, and they never bothered to come back for Season 3. Che happened to be one of these people. He loved Season 1 of Attack on Titan. He was talking about it quite a lot back when we were in school, after I'd only seen the first episode. And he'd seen all 25 episodes of Season 1. And really enjoyed it. But he told me that Season 2 he did not like at all. He thought Season 2 was really bad. And he hasn't watched Season 3. Despite Season 3 is completely finished, he never went back to check out Season 3. That's not a good sign if I'm sorry, but if you make a great first season, but then an awful second season, and turn away so many viewers that loved to see your first season and were super excited, that's not a good thing. And that didn't help Attack on Titan's popularity. It didn't decrease so much, it just wasn't increasing as much as it was when season 1 was airing. Now, these last two things, I think they're more nitpicks than really anything. For me, it's just season 2 has 12 episodes, whereas season 1 has 25 episodes. So season 2 has less than half of the episodes that season 1 had, but season 2 took 4 years to be created. I think that's more of a nitpick, but I feel like that's another reason why season 2 wasn't enjoyed as much as season 1. Less than half of the content for when you've had 4 years to make this season. So yeah, my final review of Attack on Titan season 2, a bad season that gave a known now modern classic a rough patch that it needed to overcome. Next week we will be covering the third and final episode of this mini-series with my review and analysis on Attack on Titan Season 3, with all the good parts and the bad parts. Did Season 3 get the show back on the correct road where the first season started it going? You'll have to wait until next week to see that. And also, yesterday on my second channel, there should be a new video on it where I started a brand new mini-series on my second channel where I read comments on past videos I've made and talk about them, whether it was someone else posting the comment or whether I was the one posting the comment. I talk about them all and I read them all and talk about them. That should be on my second channel, and hopefully in a couple of hours today the second episode of that series will be going up, and then there'll be 2 more hopefully going up next weekend. I think could be a fun little series to do, and it seems appropriate as for the second channel, since it's not something I think the main channel would really work with. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Follow me on all my social medias. Join me next week for the rise, the fall, and rise back up of Attack on Titan Part 3 of 3. But until then, catch you later.